The used motorcycle market in 2026 operates like a rigged carnival game. Sellers demand premium prices for machines that belong in a scrapyard. What they have is garbage. Today we expose 17 motorcycles that hold zero value in today's market. We break down the specs, the used prices, and the undeniable reasons these bikes will drain your bank account. Wait until we reach number 1. You will see a popular beginner bike hiding a fatal engine flaw. It is a ticking time bomb. Let us begin. Number 17. The Harley-Davidson Street 500. Let us start with a motorcycle built for one specific purpose: surviving parking lot drops at the local riding academy, the Harley-Davidson Street 500 is a masterclass in corner cutting. Look at the specs. It features a liquid-cooled 494cc Revolution XV twin engine. That sounds impressive until you twist the throttle. It produces a miserable 33 horsepower while dragging around 500 pounds of steel. The use case for this machine is learning to find the friction zone in a vacant mall parking lot. Once you hit the public highway, it becomes a liability. Comfort is non-existent. The seat foam compresses to the plastic base pan in 10 minutes. The foot pegs force your knees into an unnatural angle, cramping your legs before you cross the county line. Why is it worthless in 2026? The used market is flooded with abused ex-riding school models. Dealerships sold them new for near $7,000. Today, delusional sellers want $4,000 for them. The true value is scrap metal weight. The brakes feel like squeezing wet wooden blocks against a steel rotor. You can buy a used Honda Rebel 500 for the same money and get a machine that actually functions. This bike is an anvil. But what if you buy a motorcycle that puts you to sleep? Our next bike is the cure for insomnia. Number 16. The manual Honda NC700X. Honda builds brilliant machines, we know this, but the early manual transmission, NC700X, is a mistake. The specs tell a sad story. It uses a 670cc parallel twin engine derived from a Honda Fit automobile. It revs to a pitiful 6,400 RPM. The intended use case is commuting. It features a storage trunk where the gas tank should reside. Comfort is adequate. The upright seating saves your lower back, and the wide handlebars offer leverage for traffic weaving. But the manual version of this bike is worthless. Riding this machine is like playing the 𝐏𝐄𝐑 defense in a chess match. It is methodical, it is safe, and it guarantees you fall asleep by the third move. When you combine a low-revving car engine with a manual foot shifter, you spend your commute frantically kicking gears just to reach highway speed. You hit the rev limiter so fast, your head jerks forward. New, these cost close to $8,000. Sellers today demand $5,000. Do not pay it. If you want this bike, you must buy the automatic DCT version. The manual version traps you in a cycle of endless shifting with zero reward. If you want to dodge these used market traps, hit the subscribe button. We protect your wallet. Boring is bad, but our next bike is a sheep in wolf's clothing. Number 15. The Suzuki GSX250R. Suzuki wrapped a 90s commuter engine in modern race plastics and tried to fool the public. The GSX250R is an illusion. The specs expose the lie. It looks like a track weapon, but it hides a 248cc parallel twin engine producing 24 horsepower. It weighs over 400 pounds. A modern Kawasaki Ninja 400 will leave it invisible in the rearview mirror. Comfort is a confusing mess. The clip-on handlebars pull you forward into a racing tuck. The sluggish engine refuses to reward that posture. You suffer the wrist pain of a superbike with the acceleration of a riding lawnmower. It is worthless in 2026 because it is obsolete. It retailed new for near $5,000. Used sellers ask $3,500. The engine design traces back to the old Suzuki Inazuma. It struggles to maintain 70 miles per hour on an uphill interstate grade. You become a moving chicane for semi-trucks. It serves no purpose. The GSX is slow. But what if a bike drains your bank account while sitting still? Our next machine is a financial black hole. Number 14, the Ducati Monster 696. The Ducati Monster 696 lures new riders with the promise of Italian prestige. It is a trap designed to steal your money. The specs feature a 696cc air-cooled L-twin engine pushing roughly 80 horsepower. It boasts premium Brembo brakes and a beautiful trellis frame. Comfort is brutal. The seat slopes forward, crushing you into the fuel tank. The exhaust routing cooks your right thigh in summer traffic. Why is it worthless today? The maintenance costs exceed the value of the machine. The Monster requires a desmodromic valve service every 7,500 miles. You must replace the rubber timing belts every 2 years, regardless of mileage. If those belts snap, the engine destroys itself. It promises a thrilling performance. In reality, it leaves you as frustrated as a die-hard Chelsea fan watching a 90-minute scoreless draw. New, it costs $9,000. Today, you see them listed for $4,000. The seller is dumping it because the service light illuminated. That valve service costs $1,200 at a Ducati dealership. You buy the bike and you immediately owe a mechanic a fortune. Are you tired of these mechanical traps? Hit the like button so the algorithm warns other riders. A massive repair bill hurts, but our next bike fails at its only job. Number 13, the Yamaha SCR 950. Yamaha saw the Scrambler trend exploding and panicked. They took their Bolt cruiser, bolted on a flat seat, and created the SCR 950. The specs show a 942cc air-cooled V-twin. It uses a belt drive. It weighs 550 pounds. Comfort is terrible. The flat bench seat feels like a painted piece of lumber. The airbox protrudes on the right side, forcing your knee outward into an awkward bow-legged stance. This bike is worthless because it is a lie. It is a low-slung cruiser wearing a Halloween costume. The suspension features a pitiful 2.8 inches of rear travel. If you hit a pothole, the shock bottoms out and sends a shockwave up your spine. If you attempt to ride it on a dirt road, the heavy weight and belt drive guarantee you get stuck. It costs $9,000 new. Used models sit rotting on Facebook Marketplace for $5,000. Nobody wants them. The foot pegs scrape the asphalt on mild corners. It fails as a cruiser, and it fails as a scrambler. The SCR is a confused mess. But our next bike ruined a legendary nameplate. Number 12, the Kawasaki Ninja 300. The Ninja 300 was a great beginner bike 10 years ago. Today, it is a bad investment. The specs list a 296cc parallel twin producing 39 horsepower. Comfort is decent. It features a neutral seating position and a low seat height, making it accessible for shorter riders. Why is it worthless in 2026? Because the Kawasaki Ninja 400 exists. The Ninja 400 replaced it, offering significantly more power, a better chassis, and less weight. Sellers of the old Ninja 300 still demand premium prices. They paid $5,000 new, and they want $4,000 today for a bike with 20,000 miles and cracked fairings. Do not pay it. The fairings vibrate and buzz at highway speeds. The stock tires are hard as hockey pucks. You can buy a used Ninja 400 for nearly the same price and get a vastly superior machine. The 300 is obsolete metal holding onto nostalgic value. Buying obsolete metal is foolish. But our next bike proves that adding a third wheel does not solve your problems. Number 11, the Can-Am Ryker. The Can-Am Ryker is not a motorcycle, It is a snowmobile with wheels. The specs feature a 900cc inline, 3-engine paired with a continuously variable transmission. The use case is riders who refuse to learn how to balance on 2 wheels, but still want wind in their face. Comfort is bizarre. You sit on top of it like a jet ski. You absorb the bumps of the road through 3 different tire tracks, meaning you cannot dodge a pothole. If the front wheels miss it, the rear wheel hits it. It is worthless because it combines the worst aspects of a car with the worst aspects of a motorcycle. You get 0 lane splitting ability. You sit in traffic-breathing exhaust fumes. You have no leaning dynamics in the corners. The centrifugal clutch feels rubbery and vague. New, these cost around $12,000. Used, they plummet to $7,000. They depreciate like a falling rock because the novelty wears off in a week. Owners realize they bought a wide, awkward tricycle that takes up an entire garage space. Avoid the Ryker. If you want more brutal honesty, leave a comment below and tell me which of these bikes you hate the most. We are counting down the final 10 absolute worst motorcycles to buy on the used market in 2026. These are the financial black holes, the mechanical nightmares, and the rolling punchlines. They will leave you stranded on the side of the road waiting for a tow truck. We will perform a clinical autopsy on each one. We will break down their pathetic specs, their agonizing comfort levels, and the exact pathological reasons they hold 0 value. Do not click away. I promise you, when we reach number 1, we expose a popular beginner motorcycle hiding a fatal, catastrophic engine flaw. It is a ticking time bomb waiting to detonate in your driveway. Keep your wallet closed. Let us resume the countdown. Number 10. The Ducati Scrambler 62. Ducati is a brand synonymous with exotic Italian performance and breathtaking speed. The Ducati Scrambler 62 is an insult to that prestigious badge. It is a machine designed to siphon money from fashion-conscious urbanites. These buyers care more about their espresso order than their horsepower figures. Let us examine the tragic specs. It features a microscopic 399cc air-cooled L-twin engine. It produces a laughable 40 horsepower. It weighs over 400 pounds wet. The intended use case is urban posing. Buyers park it outside a trendy downtown cafe. Pedestrians see the Ducati logo stamped on the steel tank. Comfort is a chronic condition. The seat is a flat bench. It features thin foam padding. The slope slides you forward into the hot metal of the gas tank. In stop-and-go city traffic, the air-cooled rear cylinder radiates intense heat into your right thigh. It roasts your leg at every red light. The financial math is a nightmare. New, this underpowered toy cost near $8,000. Delusional sellers demand $5,000 on the used market. Here is the fatal flaw. It is still a Ducati. That means it requires the infamous desmodromic valve service every 7,500 miles. You pay premium superbike level maintenance costs for a motorcycle that gets outrun by a used Honda Civic. The mechanic hands you a $1,200 repair bill. Buying this bike is a financial mistake. A massive repair bill hurts. But what happens when the manufacturer builds a motorcycle that suffers a total identity crisis? Number 9. The Honda CTX 1300. Honda rarely makes colossal engineering mistakes. The CTX 1300 is an exception. It is a confused, anatomical disaster. It is the bizarre bastard child of a luxury Goldwing and a stripped-down street cruiser. It fails at being either. The specs are deceptive. It features a massive 1,261cc longitudinal V4 engine. That sounds powerful. But the motorcycle weighs a staggering 730 pounds. It is a bloated whale. Comfort is an ergonomic tragedy. The handlebars sweep backward, forcing your wrists into an unnatural, painful angle. Despite its massive size, the foot pegs are mounted midship. You cannot stretch your legs forward like a true cruiser. You cannot stand up like an adventure rider. You are trapped in a rigid, uncomfortable clamshell position. It is worthless today because it is a suspense thriller with no plot twist. The technology was obsolete the day it launched. It features a factory Bluetooth audio system. That system sounds like a broken drive-through speaker. It refuses to pair with modern smartphones. New, it cost an absurd $16,000. Used models rot on the market for $7,000. Do not buy it. It is too heavy for the city and too uncomfortable for the highway. Where design is one thing. But what if a motorcycle shatters its own transmission? Number 8. Hides a fatal flaw inside the gearbox. Number 8. The Suzuki Boulevard M109R. The Suzuki Boulevard M109R looks like a muscle-bound street brawler. It features a massive rear tire and sweeping exhaust pipes. Underneath that shiny chrome exterior lies a fatal mechanical illness. It will empty your bank account. The specs are pure brute force. It rocks a massive 1,783 cc liquid-cooled V-twin engine. It produces 128 horsepower. It drives that massive power through a 240mm rear tire. Comfort is non-existent. The massive fuel tank forces your legs wide open in a permanent, uncomfortable stretch. The suspension is harsh. It transmits every single crack in the asphalt up your spine. Why is it worthless in 2026? The internal transmission is constructed out of fragile glass. This motorcycle has a legendary, documented pathology of destroying its own second gear. The shift fork bends. The gear dogs round off. The bike pops out of gear under acceleration. Fixing this catastrophic failure requires removing the massive engine and physically splitting the engine cases in half. It is a $3,000 labor bill. Used sellers ask $6,000 for these bikes. They are selling them because they feel second gear starting to slip. You are buying someone else's repair bill. If you want to avoid buying a financial nightmare, hit that subscribe button. We protect our community from getting scammed by shiny paint and hidden mechanical failures. Exploding gearboxes ruin your summer. But what about a bike that uses a premium badge to hide budget engineering? Our next bike is an imposter. Number 7. The BMW G310R. The BMW G310R is the ultimate badge-engineered scam. It is a motorcycle designed to trick novice riders. They believe they are buying premium German engineering. They are actually buying a compromised budget machine. Look at the specs. It features a tiny 313cc reverse-inclined single-cylinder engine. It produces a modest 34 horsepower. The specific use case is entry-level commuting for riders obsessed with brand prestige. Comfort is miserable. It is a single-cylinder engine pushed to its limits. It vibrates at highway speeds. By the time you reach 70 miles per hour, the handlebars buzz. Your fingers will go numb in 20 minutes. The cheap rearview mirrors blur into uselessness. It is worthless today because the BMW badge is a lie. This motorcycle is manufactured in India by TVS Motors. That is not an inherent problem. But BMW charges you premium German prices for basic Indian replacement parts. The early models suffer from a chronic, dangerous stalling issue. You pull the clutch in approaching a red light. The engine dies. New, they cost over $5,000. Used, they sit at $3,000. Buying this bike for the blue and white propeller badge is a massive mistake. You can buy a superior Yamaha MT-03 for the exact same price. Paying for a badge is a mistake, but what about paying modern prices for ancient technology? The next bike belongs in a museum. Number 6. The Yamaha V-Star 250. The Yamaha V-Star 250 is a mechanical dinosaur. It refused to go extinct. It is a motorcycle that belongs in a history museum. People are still trying to sell them for modern prices. The specs are an archaeological dig. It features a 249cc air-cooled V-twin engine. Here's the shocking part, it is carbureted. In the year 2026, this machine still relies on a primitive mechanical carburetor to mix fuel and air. The use case is confined to beginner motorcycle training courses. The top speed in those lots never exceeds 20 miles per hour. Comfort is cramped. It is a tiny motorcycle. If you are over 5 feet 8 inches tall, your knees will hit the handlebars when you attempt to execute a tight U-turn. Why is it an absolute worthless buy? Dealing with a carburetor today is a self-inflicted wound. Modern ethanol fuel degrades in 3 weeks. If you let this bike sit in your garage for a month, the microscopic pilot jets inside the carburetor will clog with green varnish. You'll be trapped in an infinite loop of removing the carburetor, soaking it in harsh chemicals, and scrubbing tiny brass jets to get it to idle. It uses a dangerous mechanical drum brake on the rear wheel. It retailed for $4,600. Used sellers want $2,500. Do not buy a fossil. Dealing with carburetors is a nightmare. But what about a brand that charges a massive premium for an obsolete tractor? Our next bike. 5 is a legendary ripoff. Number 5. The Harley-Davidson Iron 883. The Harley-Davidson Iron 883 is the poster child for seller delusion. It is an outdated, underperforming machine. Sellers stubbornly believe it is made of solid gold. The specs are insulting. It uses an 883cc air-cooled Evolution V-twin engine. That sounds massive. It only produces exactly 50 horsepower. It drags around a staggering 560 pounds of heavy American steel. Comfort is a form of medieval physical torture. The factory rear suspension features a pathetic 1.6 inches of physical travel. If you ride over a painted white line on the highway, the dual rear shocks bottom out. They send a bone-jarring shockwave up your delicate spine. It is worthless on the used market because the price-to-performance ratio is pathological. When they were discontinued, they cost over $11,000. Current used sellers arrogantly demand $7,000 for bikes with scratched exhaust pipes and leaking rocker boxes. You are paying a massive premium tax for the brand name painted on the side of the tank. The engine architecture traces back to 1986. It is heavy, it is slow, and it handles like a wheelbarrow full of wet cement. Smash that like button if you refuse to pay the brand tax. It helps us defeat the algorithm and continue exposing these overpriced traps. Paying a premium for nostalgia hurts. But what about a motorcycle that snaps in half? Number 4 is a structural disaster. Number 4. The Royal Enfield Himalayan 411. The original Royal Enfield Himalayan 411 promised to be a rugged, unbreakable adventure motorcycle. It promised to survive the harshest environments on Earth. It was a brilliant marketing lie. It trapped thousands of optimistic riders. The specs are bleak. It features a 411cc air-cooled single-cylinder engine. It struggles to produce a miserable 24 horsepower. It weighs 439 pounds wet. Comfort is decent while sitting. The intense engine vibrations ruin the experience. Above 60 miles per hour, the foot pegs vibrate. Your heavy boots will slide off them. Why is it worthless in 2026? The original engine is a mechanical casualty. It suffers from massive, documented electrical stator failures. That failure will kill the battery deep in the remote woods. Early models had a terrifying fatal flaw. The metal steering headstock would snap clean off the frame after a harsh jump. It is worthless today because Royal Enfield officially released the superior, redesigned Himalayan 450. That release rendered the old one obsolete and dead in the water. Used sellers beg for $2,500. Keep your money. A snapping frame is a death sentence. But what about a super bike that traps you at the gas station? Our next bike suffers an engineering oversight. Number 3. The Honda V-FR12 100F. The Honda V-FR12 100F suffers from a fatal identity crisis. Honda tried to blend a high-speed superbike with a comfortable cross-country tourer. The final result was a compromised, expensive failure. The impressive specs feature a complex 1,237 cc liquid-cooled V4 engine. It pumps out a massive 170 horsepower. Comfort is a bizarre ergonomic nightmare, and the factory seat slopes forward. It is covered in a slippery material. Every time you touch the brakes, you slide forward. You crush yourself into the massive fuel tank. It is worthless today because of an unforgivable engineering oversight. The fuel tank. Honda equipped this thirsty, massive V4 engine with a microscopic 4.9-gallon fuel tank. If you twist the throttle, the low fuel warning light will illuminate at exactly 110 miles. You cannot use it as a touring motorcycle. You are permanently tethered to the nearest gas station. Furthermore, these bikes suffered from a dangerous global recall. The heavy rear shaft drive would lock up and seize. New, it costs $16,000. Used, they sit at $6,000. Avoid the headache. Running out of gas is embarrassing. But what about buying a motorcycle 5 years after the trend died? Number 2. The Honda Fury. The Honda Fury is a rolling monument to terrible timing. Honda spent millions of dollars engineering a radical, stretched-out factory chopper. They officially released it in 2010. That was 5 years after the global chopper craze died. The specs feature a massive 1,312 cc liquid-cooled V-twin engine. It is housed inside a stretched, raked steel frame. The exact use case is riding up and down a crowded beach boulevard. You hope pedestrians look at you. Comfort is a joke. The raked front forks ruin the handling geometry. Trying to navigate a tight, slow-speed U-turn feels like attempting to steer a long city bus. The suspension is stiff. The seating position hurts your lower spine. It is worthless in 2026 because it is tacky. It pretends to be a custom, dangerous, garage-built chopper, but it is covered in cheap factory plastic. The beautiful chrome engine covers are cheap, painted plastic. The sweeping fenders are cheap, flimsy plastic. There is an ugly, empty gap between the front cylinder head and the upper frame tube. Honda clumsily tried to hide it with more cheap plastic panels. It originally sold for $11,000. Used sellers want $7,000. It is a reliable engine trapped inside an embarrassing Halloween costume. Do you like this video? Click that like button, and if you want to support us even more, become a member. Have early access to the newest videos. Plastic chrome is an insult, but we have reached the bottom. Number 1 is the most popular beginner bike on earth, and it hides a fatal flaw. Let us dissect it. Number 1. The KTM 390 Duke. This is the ultimate ticking time bomb. The KTM 390 Duke is one of the most popular, recommended beginner motorcycles on the planet. Visually, it looks stunning. Dynamically, it handles like a razor-sharp scalpel. Internally, the engine suffers from a fatal, incurable pathology. The aggressive specs feature a lightweight, 373 cc liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine. It produces an impressive 44 horsepower. Comfort is firm. The suspension is tuned for the racing track. It transmits every harsh road bump into your arms. Why is this popular bike the number 1 most worthless used motorcycle in 2026? The early generation engine architecture is flawed. These specific engines have a documented massive failure rate concerning the vital cylinder head gasket. The engine overheats in standard city traffic. The intense, unmanaged heat warps the soft aluminum cylinder head. The fragile head gasket blows out. The pressurized green coolant mixes with the dark engine oil. This creates a toxic, milky brown sludge. That sludge starves the internal bearings of lubrication. The engine seizes solid. Performing a mechanical autopsy on a blown 390 engine is an expensive nightmare. Furthermore, the fragile, expensive full-color TFT digital dashboards leak rainwater into the screen. This destroys the expensive electronics. New. They cost roughly $6,000. The used market is flooded with desperate sellers begging for $3,000. They are selling them because they know the cooling fan is failing and the engine is preparing to detonate. Buying a used, abused KTM 390 owe is absolute financial suicide. Click the next video to continue the road trip. Join our tribe by subscribing, and don't forget to like this video.